Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Sports Talk Chicago here with you. Jon Zaghloul, John Meadows directing and producing. Great to see everybody here with us and all of our great affiliates across the country. In 2 states, WKAN, 105.5 The Ticket ACTV, Cities 92.9 Talk FM, 1230 WJOB, and JED TV. Remember, if you miss any part of this show, hit us up, sportstalkchicago.com or any of your favorite podcasting apps. We cut it up to be sure. You get every segment one by one, plus the full show. John, our master editor, make sure that we get that all up there for you. You can follow us at Sports Talk Chicago all over on social media. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the like button on the video, and also subscribe, as we have over 18,600 subscribers on the way to 20,000. And all of your help is certainly appreciated in getting that done. So, what will the Bears do with Justin Fields? It's a big question that we addressed in segment 1. Here's one thing that we may know a little bit more about. This is not as controversial, I hope. So for those who are inflamed or infuriated about the Field stuff, I think we could kind of agree on this one, although there are some Matt Eberflus defenders out there. I don't know where the hell you are, but if so, that's unfortunate. Headline here from Sports Mockery: current Chicago Bears player casts doubt on Matt Eberflus's leadership. According to a source, and this is from Sports Mockery again, a player on the Bears expressed a lack of confidence in Matt Eberflus and stated the current culture is not great, despite opposing reports out of Hallis Hall. Makes sense. Eberflus said that there's a great culture there, but yet has 2 coaches who resigned midseason due to HR situations. Okay. Quote, he is also not alone, as some other players share a similar view on Eberflus. The player also emphasized a desire to simply win games, which has taken a toll on the locker room. Well, never mind that. They just won. They just won a game, so everything's fine now, right? Wrong. This is what a player is saying about the current situation with the Bears. Ouch. That's pretty scary. That's not good to hear. Eerily similar to Mark Trestman, maybe? Not as bad. That was really bad. But that's concerning to hear from a legitimate player, anonymous player on the team. That's scary. That's not exciting to hear. A lack of confidence in Matt Eberflus. Current culture is not great, despite opposing reports out of Hallis Hall. And here's one thing I have to say, right? We don't know. I'm not in there every day. I don't know what the culture is like. Okay, we saw videos this past week that the Bears, key, put out on social media, another key, okay, state-run social media accounts, talking about, hey, everybody's rallying around Fields. Look at how everybody came around him after the game. He got the game ball. Wow, they all support him. You understand that those are team cameras in there recording good moments. Okay, we don't know what happens there every single day at every waking hour. We have no idea. Of course, the Bears will paint Justin as their leader and paint him in a positive light, not a negative light, a positive light. They're going to paint him to look great, and that's nice. Makes everybody feel good, makes me feel good. I was pumped up seeing that video for a second. I was. Then I realized, okay, they're going to open up Club Dub for a game in which they scored no touchdowns. Then I was like, okay, this is bad. Point being, we don't know if everything's amazing at Hallis Hall. And this report certainly casts a shadow of doubt on what everybody's seeing. Right? This casts significant doubt. I'll tell you this, and this was a couple of weeks ago. We did part of the show on this, if you recall, if you were listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube, listening on the radio. Matt Eberflus came out and said, hey, we have a great culture here, and Ryan Poles affirmed his commitment to Eberflus, a big public press conference for the Bears. And we all kind of wondered what's going on. We all kind of wondered why or how or what does this all mean? And I did a pretty fiery video on it. I'm not going to do that again. You could go back and watch it or hear it. But I'm going to say this, and I'm going to make it very clear. You cannot have a good culture when you're 4-8, when your quarterback situation's in question, when your offensive coordinator is being grilled every day, when your head coach is probably going to be fired, and here's the key, when 2 of your top assistants resign mid-season due to HR situations. That does not sound like a nice culture to me. Certainly something I don't want to be a part of. I mean, maybe it's a nice culture for them. I'm not really into that kind of stuff. Okay? That is not something we should be parading or touting. So I would believe this source, who seems to be a Bears player, talking on the record anonymously, saying that there is not a lot of confidence in Matt Eberflus. Simple solution, especially if this is a defensive player, hire a new coach. This Bears defense is not horrendous. They've actually improved a lot over the past couple of games, to their credit. Not really to Matt Eberflus's credit. I'd say to their credit. They've been playing with more of a vigor, more of an energy, which is nice. They're all competing probably for jobs next year. Jalen Johnson thinks he's going to get paid. He's competing for a payday, right? Everybody is competing for something. And due to those individual efforts, the team is rising, and that's awesome. That's great. If his defense stays intact, which it will, because a lot of these guys are tied up due to money, you bring in a new coach, and maybe everybody galvanizes around him, and then you move forward, and that'd be great. So the positive is, due to this statement and source, that there is a solution. There is something that could be done to make it better. If they're offensive, this player's an offensive player, well, they need to fire Luke Getsy, which they might do, especially if Eberflus gets fired. So you get a one-on-one deal, both of them gone. That'd be great, too. So this is more of a fixable situation, which is good, because there's no confidence in Matt Eberflus, according to this report. Not even talking about Justin Fields. We're not even talking about him here, too. This is Matt Eberflus specifically. So I could see a situation, I don't advocate for it necessarily, but maybe they keep Fields for another year. Maybe they fire Eberflus, fire Getsy. Somehow a new coach comes in and decides to keep Justin Fields, which is really unprecedented, and they go 500 next year-ish. That would be nice. That's certainly possible. And that would certainly corroborate this report. I don't know. But this report is something that needs to be pursued and continued to be talked about. I will say that for sure. A player on the Bears expressed a lack of confidence in Matt Eberflus. Never a good sign. I don't care if you're a 20-year head coach or a 2-year head coach. Bill Belichick's going through the same thing in New England, and he might get fired too. I don't care how long you've been at it. I don't care what your knowledge of the game is. When your players have no confidence in you, that's scary. And the current culture is not great, despite opposing reports out of Hallis Hall. And that's the key, too. Opposing reports out of Hallis Hall. And we could all agree that maybe not everything that they put out is 100% genuine. Again, remember, it's the Bears social media account posting a video of players rallying around the team in a moment in which only team cameras are allowed. Okay? This doesn't mean that everybody's happy. This doesn't mean that everybody's buying it. And at the end of the day, from their perspective, which I totally understand, a win's a win. For a lot of these players, especially the defense, but if I were a defensive player on the Bears on Monday night, I'd be super proud of that win. I would be celebrating because I know that I was the one, or I was one of the reasons that we won this game. If I was Justin Fields, I wouldn't be celebrating too much. Luke Getsy? Definitely not. I'd be ducking out and running for cover immediately. Even Matt Eberflus. So I get why some players were celebrating, and a win's a win. But, oh man. This report is troubling, and this report needs to be discussed and needs to be considered. So I just find it interesting. And then the question becomes, okay, who are they going to hire next? And that becomes a whole thing. I mean, we do know this, that one coach has already been fired in Frank Reich. I think that was grievous and stupid, but he was fired. I will say this, man, offensive coordinator, how about Frank Reich? Certainly something you should consider if you're the Bears. As far as a head coach goes, though, I feel like there's going to be a large Black Monday. Benjamin Albright, friend of this program, put out on Twitter, saw this maybe a week ago, where he said there could be as many as 10 coaches fired on Black Monday this year. There could be as many as 10 vacancies and switches and swaps going on. So a lot of guys are probably going to be on the market, I would hope. And from that point, you could make a decision on who you want to hire. I think Frank Reich got a raw deal. Would he be interested in coaching here? Would he be interested in being an OC? I don't know if he'd be a good head coach, but an offensive coordinator, I think he's worked wonders in the past with certain quarterbacks. Carson Wentz, you say what you want about Carson Wentz. He was good in Indianapolis. And he's not a great quarterback, but he was good with Frank Reich, even in Philadelphia, too. So I think that there's an opportunity for him, and there could be other coaches that end up hitting the market and becoming available. And from there, the Bears have to make a decision, and they have to do something. But I think they're going to have a lot of different guys to choose from. And when you're hearing reports like this about Eberflus, and the season isn't over yet, there's still a couple of games left, and we're only in November, going to be December, that's kind of a precursor. That's something that's probably going to happen to him. It's not going to be pleasant. I'm not reporting it. I'm just speculating. But I would not buy this situation to be like, all right, they got to keep Eberflus. And for those of you who defend him, I'd love to hear what you think or why he should stay. Right? But I don't understand why anybody would actively defend him. That's just me. I don't see it. I don't see a reason why he needs to stay. He has not done enough to justify staying. He is not. I mean, Eberflus as a head coach is the worst in Bears history. I mean, he's 7-22. Worst win percentage ever. I don't see how he should stay. First ever divisional win was a game in which they scored no touchdowns and 75-plus penalty yards and forced 4 picks from Josh Dobbs and won by a field goal in crunch time. And if they had their veteran QB, they would have easily lost. Yeah, I mean, Matt Eberflus is going to have to go. If there's one person who needs to go, even more than Justin Fields, it's Matt Eberflus. So we're seeing reports now saying that there are players who have lost confidence in him. That's today. Imagine what it's going to be like. Imagine what it's going to say. Imagine what's going to happen as this season ramps up, gets worse and worse, and then eventually ends the year. I'm not buying Matt Eberflus to be a good coach. I'm not. If they do keep him, I'm going to be stunned. I can see it, though, because it's Bears football, but I'm not going to buy it. And again, if you're just hopping in, report here from Sports Mockery. This is an original report, according to a source. A player on the Bears expressed a lack of confidence in Matt Eberflus and stated the current culture is not great, despite opposing reports out of Hallis Hall. He is also not alone, as other players share a similar view. The player also emphasized a desire to simply win games, which has taken a toll on the locker room. Again, hey, it's okay. The Bears just won, so everything's fine now. They just won. 12-9, barely. Yeah. Somebody's pissed. And I shouldn't even say somebody. People are pissed. Players, with an S, are pissed. Multiple ones are pissed. As they should be. Even think about early in the year, like making Bayless Jones active for all these games when he didn't do anything, benching Deontay Foreman all season long for the first 5 games. EQ St. Brown was inactive, then active. The Bears have made some dumb personnel decisions, too. Chase Claypool in that situation, that was on Poles and Eberflus. They've been underutilizing guys or using guys when they shouldn't be or should be. I mean, they're making personnel mistakes, too. So there's a lot here. There's a lot here. It's not good. None of it's good. None of it's positive. None of it's okay. I like the direction this team is going in. Players are not liking the direction this team is going in. So if the players aren't liking it, I can't even imagine what maybe ownership is feeling, or at least Kevin Warren is feeling. That's who I want to see too. I really, I get Warren came in April, right? April or May. So I know his number one task has been the stadium, which has not been looking good. But here's what I want to find out. And this is what I'm going to know. When all of us will know what the operation is like at Hallis Hall. Will Kevin Warren actually have a say in making decisions? Because believe it or not, Kevin Warren didn't hire Matt Eberflus, nor Ryan Poles. So I wonder if Kevin Warren gets an opportunity to say, you know what, I've had enough of this crap. When we've seen Kevin Warren at games, he doesn't look too happy. And I blasted him in the past, but you know what? Tonight I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I'll tell you what, he did not hire Eberflus nor Poles. He walked in late, according to the offseason, and his number one project right now is the stadium, which is not going well. That's on him. But other things, I want to see what he does. If the Bears give him control, relinquish control a bit, I'd love to see Kevin Warren say, Matt, you're gone. And we need to hire a legitimate head coach. And I said this before, and I'll say it again. Stop it with the on-the-job training. Please hire somebody with experience. I'm sick of minor league football, minor league coaching. All right, we're going to underpay this guy. He'll come in. He's just a coordinator. Now he's going to come in and be the head coach. Why do the Bears consistently go after people like that? Oh, John Fox had experience. Yeah, well, John Fox came here for the money and sucked. I'm asking for a legitimate coach, a legitimate option who has an ounce of experience. That's not, hey, I was the defensive coordinator for the Colts and our defense was consistently ranked 20th. Yes, hire me. At that point, they should have kept Sean Desai around. So I just hope they actually do things right and they do things from a smart business perspective that's going to allow them to maximize their wins. Because right now they're not maximizing wins. They're not maximizing opportunities. They just continually make mistakes. Somebody needs to come in who's going to clean this mess up. Somebody with experience, somebody who knows what they're doing. No rookie coach, no on-the-job training. Everybody needs a first time, and I'm okay saying that. Everybody needs a first opportunity. But why does it have to be with the charter franchise of the NFL? Why can't it be with the Browns or the Dolphins or the Chargers or, I don't know, the Jets, Giants? They both suck. Go over there. Why does it have to be here all the time? Why does the charter franchise of the NFL, who had George Halas as their head coach for decades, why now have we resulted and succumbed to consistent on-the-job training from guys who have never coached in their lives before, head coached? Why have the Bears come and stooped to this level? That's my question. Because clearly, Matt Eberflus, nice guy, but his culture, his thumb on the pulse of the culture is horrendous. This team's 4-8. He's one of the worst coaches in Bears history. He lost two of his top hires, right? His top staffers to HR complaints and abrupt resignations. We still don't know what happened to Alan Williams. We're still waiting. We've heard nothing. We're still waiting. I'm still waiting. So that does not signify to me that the culture is stable and great. And it shouldn't to you either. So as the Bears look into what they're going to do next year, what their strategy is going to be for next year, and how they're going to make this all work out, they need to figure out what to do at head coach. And if there are reports coming out today saying that players are not confident in Matt Eberflus, according to sources, and that multiple players have expressed this sentiment because of a lack of winning, then I can imagine how the rest of this year is going to go and how it's going to go. Matt Eberflus stays for another year and another year after that. It is clear that he is not the guy in terms of a coach. He's not somebody I'm going to place my trust in terms of leading a football team. It's not going to happen. So I would caution everybody to be on the edge of your seat in terms of what's going to happen to him come the end of this year. There are a few games left. I'm not saying it's a report. This is speculation. But if there are reports coming out, these are official reports saying that he's lost the locker room, that there's no confidence in him, then that's kind of a telltale sign that things are not going to get better. And when you're 5-6 games left in the season, in your second year, and you're one of the worst coaches in Bears history, I think all of that is just a precursor of what's to come. Could be wrong, and if they keep him, I don't know how they're going to justify it. They'll find a way, I guess, but I don't know how they're going to do it. But I am not confident in Eberflus sticking around for the long haul. I'll tell you that right now.